Hi, I'm Dr. Delaney. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What brings you in today?
So I'm having pain in my right wrist and some of my fingers.
Okay. Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And
I am.
which fingers are bothering you?
Pretty much my thumb and my index and middle finger.
Okay. And these fingers are okay? Your other two fingers are okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a writer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does that involve mostly typing or holding a pen all day?
No, it's typing, and so I notice, and I'm working against a deadline, and so I'm
Okay.
doing a lot of typing, and I notice that the pain is increasing, and actually, you have to hit your space bar with your thumb, and that's
Sure.
getting really hard for me.
I understand.
It's painful.
Okay. Does the pain bother you at night?
Yeah, it does. It actually wakes me up.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look then.
Okay.
What I'm going to have you do is hold your two hands like this,
Okay.
so that they're just right here on this pillow, and I'm going to look from above,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at the muscles that we call your thenar eminence, or the muscles that go to your thumb. So on your left side, there's a nice curve here,
Yeah.
and on the right side, I see that it looks flatter. Okay. And then I'm going to have you just spread your hands out like this, and I'm going to test your sensation.
Okay.
So first of all, over here by
Yeah.
the pinky finger where the ulnar nerve supplies, does that feel the same on both sides to you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. If you flip your hands over like this, both of them, and on the back of the hand or the dorsum where the radial nerve supplies sensation, does this feel the same on both sides?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. And back over to this side. Now we're going to look at the index and the long finger. And do they feel the same on both sides or not?
No, this one is it's. I don't feel it as much. It's sort of numb.
Okay, it feels different.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to do this for me? Okay, so I see that your median nerve back further is working for the muscles, but how about this action where you get your little finger and your thumb together, or what we call opposition? So it's hard for your thumb to reach over there, it looks like. What I want you to do is don't let me pull away here. So that's sort of weak. And how about if we do it on this side? Okay, no weakness there. And that comes back, you can relax these same muscles here in the thenar eminence that do opposition.
Oh.
Okay. And now we're going to do a few more median nerve tests because that seems to be the nerve that you're having a problem with. Tap right here.
Yeah, that's not great. No, that hurts.
What happens when I do that?
I feel tingling in my fingers.
Okay. And then how about if I have my fingers right here over your wrist, where that same median nerve is traveling in a rigid space. I'm going to just hold like this.
That's not great. That hurts.
Does that feel, again, that same
Yeah,
pain?
it's right out here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do one more test for that same median nerve in that rigid space at your wrist.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to touch the backs of your hands like this together.
Like this?
Keep your elbows up, and I want you to hold that for 60 seconds and tell me how that feels.
Well, I'm beginning to have tingling in my right hand.
And where in your right hand is your tingling?
In these two fingers and my thumb.
So your index and middle finger and your thumb are bothering you?
Yes.
Okay. And back down for me. Okay, good. And you can just to review. So you said it felt different just here and here in your fingers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And back here, does it feel the same on both sides?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. That part feels the same?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So your median nerve is what's causing your problem here. Okay. And that nerve is what gives you sensation in these fingers here, and sometimes a little bit of this one, which is often hard to tell, as well as here. It's traveling in a rigid space at your wrist. How it enters your hand from your forearm, it goes through a tunnel together with 9 tendons that go into your hand.
Oh, all right.
And the tendons are surrounded by synovial sheaths or flexor tendon sheaths, which sometimes get inflamed and therefore take up more space.
Okay.
But the space that the nerve and the tendons are traveling in it's not possible to expand that space because it's surrounded by bone on this side, and then the transverse carpal ligament straight across the top, sort of making the roof of the tunnel like this. And so in this rigid space, you have these 9 tendons and that poor nerve in there that's really getting compressed.
What makes the inflammation happen?
So it can be a variety of different things. Sometimes if somebody has an inflammatory condition like rheumatoid arthritis,
Oh,
Sometimes it's related to a thyroid problem. Sometimes it's related to what you do every day with your hands, which we talked about.
writing, yeah.
Repetitive things and typing can often trigger this or just exacerbate someone who has a tendency towards this problem.
So could it be anything else?
Well, I think when I first heard your story that you had pain and numbness or tingling in this part of your hand or in these fingers,
In the fingers,
in
right?
the fingers, in my head there are two things, because the nerve that we talked about, the median nerve that's traveling through this rigid space at the wrist, ultimately that has come from your spinal cord and traveled out between your cervical vertebrae down along your arm and to your hand. So in theory, the problem can be anywhere along the course of the nerve.
Right, so wouldn't I have pain up here or?
That's a good point. Now, the thing is that the nerve, so each nerve root from the spine supplies a specific area of the limb. And as it happens, there's one nerve root, your C6 nerve root, that supplies this part of your hand. So it can be hard to tell just based on the story and based on your sensation whether the problem's all the way up here or all the way down here. But then that was why I did those special tests, which I know were uncomfortable for you. So the reason to make you do that is because those tests are very specific to compression right here in
all right.
in the carpal tunnel, and those really helped me to figure out that the problem is down here.
So that's how we know it's here,
Right.
and not in my neck.
Right. Now, in certain cases, there can be a problem in both places, and so sometimes it's a good idea to investigate the neck, or if we treat your carpal tunnel, if we really feel, which I do based on your exam, that this is something we can treat at your wrist. But if, by some chance you didn't get better from doing that, then you would have to see if there was a double crush or double hit, as we call it, to the nerve. But that's really sort of a long shot with you. Everything is very typical because everything that I do that exacerbates your pain is really
right here in
reducing
my-
the volume of your carpal tunnel, same as when you type.
Okay.
So
that
I
makes
feel
sense.
reasonably confident in saying that the problem is with your median nerve at your wrist.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. That makes sense.
good.
Thanks.